Welcome to Half Century Hangout, where different paths lead to the same table. I'm your host, John, joined by my friends and co-hosts, Luke and Chuck. We're three guys who grew up differently but became good friends with a lot to talk about. On this show, we bring our unique perspectives to the table and dive into everything from current events to life's big questions. We might not always see eye to eye, but that's exactly why we're here. To listen, to learn, and change our minds sometimes. So grab a seat and join us for honest conversation, unexpected insights, and a few friendly arguments. This is Half Century Hangout, where different perspectives make for better discussions.
Let's get started, guys.
Let's get started. Here we go.
Here we go.
All right, we're back. And we're here with Luke and Chuck
Yep.
in Luke's garage.
Hanging out. We're back in the saddle, baby.
Back in the saddle.
It's good. I'd like to say that, hey, I missed you guys, but you know what? I see you every day, so I
Yeah.
don't miss you, but I miss this.
This is so being back in your garage is the thing. Like that's the fun of. We just spent last hour or so just kind of hanging out and catching up and talking about stuff that we don't get to talk about at our job. So
And it's good. We're sitting here in the garage and I've kind of done some remodeling, but Chuck's wearing his Ohio State shirt in the middle
Go
of all
Buckeyes.
this Michigan stuff. That's up,
number one. So we made a wager back in the summertime. What do you remember what that wager was? It was it you would have to wear an Ohio State sweatshirt?
Yes, we were going to wear each other's thing for the next day of school day or whatever.
So I'm looking forward to seeing you in
and some scarlet?
Scarlet and gray. Heck yes.
That'd be great.
You might be wearing, is it maize and blue or what is
Maize
it?
and blue.
Maize and blue.
Maize and blue.
I think this is the year. I'm like,
How
this
many
is the year.
It's been
years?
4 years. 4 years in a row now.
Only 4 years in
I
a
thought
row.
it was 3 years in a row.
4.
4 years in a row.
Don't be putting asterisks on stuff.
Yeah.
Don't be doing that.
Yeah.
Sounded like little brother over there for a minute. Don't be doing that.
Well,
They're pretty tough.
Buckeyes.
No, the Wolverines.
Buckeyes are pretty tough.
Everybody's tough,
Yeah.
for the most part.
Yep.
But what have you been up to? What have you been doing? What have you been doing all this time off?
So-
we haven't talked since June. What's going on?
No,
Yeah.
it's July. We did talk in July.
I thought we
No, it was in July.
was it?
That's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
And now the
and
weather
we talked
broke.
about-
The weather
so
broke.
we
We
had
talked about eating in July. Remember that?
We had football season.
Yeah, I know. That was a big one.
That was the big thing. Football season and kind of ramped up in August and in September, October, obviously. And that just takes so much time. I was talking to Jen, my wife, and I get 25 hours minimum a week back with football season being over.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Sometimes it's 30 plus, but it's at least 25 hours a week that I get.
As the AD, I get it right here in November, and then it
weeks.
goes back.
Is it 2 weeks or
it's
one?
Like 3.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
like
there's not a whole
three-ish,
lot.
somewhere in there. But
And you got all the plays and all that
all the
stuff.
stuff going on. But
So,
you know what? It's
Concerts,
cool,
plays, and all that.
With all those hours that we're working, it's just there's just not a lot of time to kind of do this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Because once you do the recording of this podcast, then you've probably got a couple hours of editing.
I wouldn't know
And then
that.
when we
just
do
takes some
that,
time.
when we do it, our 1 hour recording session turns into a couple 2-3 hours. We just
Yep.
kick back, have a few drinks, and
Yep.
I wouldn't
relax
know
and
about
talk
the editing
things.
because our podcast is edited and produced by Chuck Kaiser.
None other. He's
And
the G.
other than
the OG.
Yeah. What about you guys? What's been going on in your world the last?
I'm kind of in the same world you are.
Yeah,
it's
for
just
sure.
There and doing stuff, but you've got, it's the fall is always busy. We've got a lot of stuff happening, a lot of stuff going on. It's the start of the new school year, so you got all those things happening. And as administration, you just kind of go through things and
Yep.
you
got to
do.
figure things out and do it. But lots of driving because I'm thankful for extra inning playoff baseball. And if you ever would have thought to hear me say that, that's what got me home from Boone that night.
Oh,
It was the 15-inning Detroit game, and I listened to it
MLB.
the entire time.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely amazing to listen to baseball on the radio like the old days.
man, I haven't
cool.
listened to a baseball game on the radio since the Cincinnati Reds beat the Oakland Athletics in 1990.
Yeah.
90.
It was definitely a long time because I pulled out of the thing. I'm like, I can't just listen to Yacht Rock the whole way.
Yeah.
I can't do it. Like I could, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
And got off the caffeine, so I was like, I can't do that.
Yeah.
I gotta have something. And I'm like, oh, it's the game. And so I pulled it up on iHeart and went through and found it and listened to it the whole way. It took me almost the whole way.
15 innings. Didn't it
15 innings.
end at like 12:30?
Yeah, something like that. Because that's about when I pulled back into the school. So
Did you know, John,
long game.
that Luke was off of caffeine?
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
been about it was about since then. So maybe it's been
Really?
4 or 5 weeks. 4 weeks.
What was the what was the reason for that?
A while back it was like the sleep apnea, acid reflux kind of deal.
Really?
And the caffeine, I think I just started kind of like I think I told you that before, that I never drank coffee. And I started drinking coffee.
Yeah.
And then it was just like I was getting, acid reflux all the time. I'm like, I'm going to back off and see. So it took like a week, to whatever, clear my system or whatever. But
Did you have any headaches and all that kind of stuff?
the first week,
Yeah.
yeah.
Really?
And,
I don't know
Still
what
get up-
I'd do without caffeine.
Still get up and brew it for Becky in the morning. Now in the 12 cup coffee maker. Now I cut it down to 6, but it's like I just get it so I get the smell in the morning, and that's
Smell is
it's
good.
water, and even any soda if I do it's root beer or it's something with no caffeine in it. So
Wow.
been
You
working on it.
Feel better?
It's getting now. It's cleared through my system. It's okay. It's tough some mornings, but we'll get it. We're good.
I did not know that. I could not survive without my tea.
We understand that.
A lot of
You
ice.
even brought some today.
I did. I did.
You take a hike a couple times a day, don't you? Over
Well,
to,
it gets my steps in, and
yeah. So what's
go
been
across the street and get a tea and maybe a yogurt here and there.
what's been going on in your world, John?
Oh, in my world, since last time, just spent a lot of time with helping kids do what's right, what's best, and trying to help them be the best version of themselves. Not to be cliche or anything, but
No, we would want to do that.
never.
Yeah.
That's about all I've been
How's
doing.
your teams doing?
My teams are doing pretty good. So my fantasy team is
Oh, we're not talking about that one.
No.
I'm talking about this hierarchy of your rooting for teams. Those 4 things that
okay.
you put
So
out.
You root for Nebraska?
Oh my god!
Really? Seriously?
Here is my hierarchy. The Ohio State Buckeyes obviously are
When
number
did that
one.
start?
It
You
started
gotta
way back.
go
It started
back.
way
Yeah.
back.
Whatever.
So they are number one. Haven't lost a game. Pretty dominant. Old Patricia. Matt Patricia is his name. He's killing people on the defense. So he's thrown some stuff at him
be
that
the
people
head
have never
coach of the
seen
Lions.
before. At where?
At the Lions,
Yeah, he did. I remember those
they're glad
days.
to be rid of them.
I heard you told me that actually, but I'm glad he's at the Buckeyes because I think he's doing really good. So that's my number one team.
Weeks.
My number 2 team, I think, would be anybody who plays Michigan, and
Which I get that. So right now you're good. I understand your hierarchy right now.
Yeah.
We're good.
Okay,
this is where the rest
Go
comes in.
ahead. 4 teams. I don't know how you got a hierarchy there.
my number 3 team would be Iowa. Like I root for Iowa because I live in Iowa, Council Bluffs, Iowa. I live in Iowa, so I root for Iowa University. the
Wait
Hawkeyes.
for it. Wait for
Why
it.
don't you root for Iowa State?
That's my number 5 team. So my number 4 team would be Nebraska.
Gosh, you got 5 teams?
Yes, my number 5 team would be Nebraska because
Terrible.
Oh, number 5 is
I live
Nebraska
on the-
or number 4
number
is
4,
Nebraska?
number 4.
Oh,
would be
okay.
Nebraska.
All right.
So if Nebraska's playing Ohio State, obviously I'm rooting for Ohio State. If Nebraska's playing Michigan, I'm rooting for Nebraska. But
But let me back this up though. So you just said that you root for Iowa because you live in Iowa.
Right.
But yet Nebraska comes in at number 4, even though Iowa State is number 5 and you live in Iowa. How does that happen?
Because I'm just not much into Iowa State. I'm just not. Like, I mean, I like Matt Campbell, but I'm not like hugely into Iowa
I just don't think, and this is where I'm going to, this is not sports radio, folks, but I'm going to tell you right now is that there is no way that you can have Iowa and Nebraska in the same hierarchy of
Yeah, there is.
You cannot do it.
Like, it's a border state, though.
It doesn't matter.
It's
That's
no
like me saying I root for Michigan and down at number 4 it's Ohio State. That's ridiculous.
No. I think it's completely different
Why?
because the hatred for Michigan toward Ohio State is way different than the hatred for Nebraska toward
You are completely wrong.
Baloney.
How many people here cannot stand that whole thing? It's on the Friday. It's Black Friday game.
Yeah, I know.
They
But
can't stand each other. And you know what? Iowa finally has an offense, and they're gonna. So who are you rooting for? Iowa, Nebraska?
Iowa, Nebraska, I'm rooting for Iowa because that's my number 3 team.
Because they're 3. But
Yep.
then you get a backlog and say, well, Nebraska wins. They were my number 4, so I'm still good.
I don't know.
Oh
about
my
that.
God!
I don't know about that.
Oh my God!
In that game, I'm rooting for
Oh,
Iowa.
boy.
So
Oh,
that's
boy.
just the way it works. Then number 5 is Iowa State.
This came out, folks, as a Facebook post, and I almost jumped off of my the back of my garage just because I was like, I need to injure myself and make sure that I'm okay because I couldn't understand.
Wait, the back of your garage is like
2 feet off his.
Yeah, exactly.
not very
I'm not
far.
saying
It's not
I was.
that big of a deal.
I'm not. I wasn't like jumping to my death.
Jump.
It wasn't like that. It was just like I wanted to bruise myself and say, hey, come on.
Oh, my
But anyway, yeah, we're excited because we're gonna go looking at a couple weeks ahead. We're going to see Michigan play Northwestern.
Okay.
It's at Wrigley Field.
That would be
Really?
a fun game.
That's why we're going because you know what? I worked at Northwestern. I know we've said this, so do I still root for them? Not really. Like except when they were playing Nebraska last week, but. The idea was
Yeah, that didn't work out
they're
so
going
well.
in Wrigley Field. I'm not a Cubs fan either, but it's a historical stadium. It's cool, and I've never seen a football game at Wrigley Field, which they play one every year. In Nebraska, Northwestern is playing there because their stadium is not done yet. So they have that cool stadium right now that's like I think it's the soccer field or the lacrosse field, and it's right on Lake Michigan, while their stadium is being redone.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about going there, but then I'm like, oh, they're playing Michigan at Wrigley Field. We're going.
How long have they been working on Northwestern's field?
This will be so it's going to be ready next fall. 2 years they've been in
Okay.
that. Yeah.
So last game I
It's
saw
Ryan Field.
Last game I saw where Northwestern was playing at Wrigley Field, it was the weirdest sideline experience.
Well, it is because it goes from home plate to right field.
Yeah.
So our seats are like on the third base side, but
Yeah.
close to third base. So you're kind of close to the sideline. But if you're in left field, you're a long ways
You're
away.
way along.
You're
from
out
field.
there, but it's cool though. It's just a cool thing. But the end zone is actually, I think, maybe a tick shorter on each side.
Is
Because
it?
there's only so much room. I mean, you can't stack everything in there.
Yeah.
But it'll be fun. So we're going. Me and the boys are going. It'll be a good time.
What
So
weekend is
that's
that?
the 15th, November 15th. Yeah.
Nice.
So it'll be good. We're looking forward to it. I think it'll be fun, and I think that, like I said, we're not sports radio, but
Yeah.
that game last week, Nebraska Northwestern.
Yeah.
Nebraska pulled it out, and here's the thing, and I don't often say this on our podcast, but I've been relatively successful this year betting against the spread because Nebraska doesn't cover very often.
Yeah.
So that's been fun because there's our SRO at the school. I give him
Yeah. He's a
about all
big
the time.
Nebraska guy.
But it's a good time. It's fun, and we're looking forward to it. And the NFL has been doing its thing, and it's always just the fall is always a big time for us.
Yeah.
I mean, I love the fall. It's my favorite season. I haven't been able to get out hunting yet because we don't have any time. I don't have any time to do the podcast. But it's like, we go through and do our thing, and it's fun. It's good. So, but we're happy to be back. We're happy to be here and doing it because, we enjoy doing this. It's not we love that the people listen to us and do our thing. And we've had some people like, when are you doing your next one? Which is cool to hear.
Yeah, I've had a few people reach out to me. Ryan Higgins, he reached out to me and said, hey, are you guys done? Or are you just like on pause? I'm like, we're on pause.
Yeah, we're just on pause for a little bit.
Yep.
Which is fine. And we'll pick it up over the winter and we'll do our stuff as we go. But it's cool to get back in. And, when we had first said, when we spoke in July, I guess was the last time, somewhere in there. End of June, early July, it was somewhere in there. We had talked about our next episode was going to be something a little bit different where we talked about, I don't want to go full blown and say it was conspiracy theories, but it was about like true or false. Like, is this factual or is this fiction?
Right.
Kind of things that you talked about, things that people, do.
We're all curious, right?
Oh, 100%.
And we're like, is this true? Or
we live in such an age of where information is easily gotten.
Yeah.
And if you're
easily created, one of the
that
other,
too,
100%.
But if you're scrolling TikTok or Facebook or whatever social media you might be on, there's always something that comes across where you're like, is that true? And I think it's fun to kind of work in some of those types of things. So,
and I think we've got.
Did you hear that? What was that? No,
I heard that. That was Papa Top. That was a Papa Top.
I think that the big thing that we look at is, again, in our day and age, where we look at it is, like you said, things are so easily, like you get it instantly. Right? Everybody wants the instant kickback.
Yep.
And I think that when we look at it, just like you said, John, it's so quickly created as well.
Yeah.
So we have to filter. It's not just like, well, did you get that info off of Wikipedia? Like we used to say, even like 4 or 5 years ago.
Right.
And then you say, well, that's not really real. Like they don't know what they're talking about. But now it's
Wikipedia
almost every outlet that we have.
Yeah.
You have to do your due diligence to make sure that it's real.
Yeah.
Wikipedia might actually be more true than some of the other stuff we're getting.
I remember there was a day when Wikipedia was like one of those things that you don't trust, but it seems like over the last maybe 10 years, it's kind of improved, and people appreciate there you go.
That one sounds a little different.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
But I think that one of the things, like as an example, we could start with what's one of the biggest, conspiracy theories that we think of in the United States. What's
one of the biggest conspiracy theories that you think of?
And it could be like, let's just start with one. Let's just say JFK.
JFK, okay.
You could start with that, and you can say, how many different theories have you heard?
Yeah.
There's so many different things.
Yeah.
Was Lee Harvey, was he a patsy? Was he this? Was it the mob? Was it whoever?
Well,
it could be
wasn't
anything.
too long ago that there was a Senate hearing or something that they talked about the JFK files that got
released,
and all that. It wasn't very long ago that happened.
And it's a lot of stuff like that where I think that when we talk about these things, that if it's historical, right? If it's something that happened, in the 60s or even earlier, whenever, at some point files get released, right? Information gets released. And then you almost have to be almost more cautious, because just like anything else, people read something and they comment.
Right.
Or they take it a certain way, or they dissect it a certain way. So you have to say, hey, do I believe the way that this guy is turning this? Much like we have to be worried sometimes when people turn the Bible, right? It's kind of the same thing.
Sure.
So you have to really go through these things and say it. So I think we just kind of were talking about it one day. We were chatting about stuff, and so we kind of came up with a few ideas. We said, we should probably just do under. Do we think it's true? Do we think it's not true? Do we think it's kind of malarkey? What do we think?
So what's one you want to dive into?
Well, you're here in my garage and you see his picture on my wall over here.
Yep.
Right. So I'm just going to go
scratching his eye.
And you actually, he's scratching his eye with his middle finger, and it's even here. It's mine is Jimmy Hoffa. Okay, and I'm just gonna
realized it was his middle finger.
It's great.
Did you really?
In that picture, which is one of my favorite pictures of all time, he's in front of the Congress and he's flipping off Bobby Kennedy. That's what he's doing, which makes the picture even better.
Okay.
So here you're talking about
Bobby Kennedy Sr., obviously.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you're talking about somebody at the time who was one of the most powerful individuals in the country, the leader of the Teamsters, which at the time was the largest union in the country.
Right.
And if the Teamsters went down, nobody got anything. There was no goods. There was no nothing. Everything, they could shut the country down in a day if they wanted to. But, he was in deep with the mob. Like, that's how Vegas got built. Let's not put things aside, right? They dipped into the Teamsters retirement fund. They got money. Vegas is being built up. I mean, it's the mob, and they were tied together. Did he know too much? If you watch the movie The Irishman, you watch through it, it's a great movie. But once they get to about the point where they fly out of Ohio to go in, when Ed Sheeran goes, it's kind of like, I don't know if that's right. After that, it was conjecture, and everything after that is. But that usually is the way the mob works, is that they're not going to leave trails. That's kind of their idea, right?
Okay.
So living up and growing up in Detroit, that was a big thing. So it was 1975. The Marcus Red Fox, for those of you that care. That's where the last place he was seen. After that, it's all conjecture. They're digging up people's yards.
Right.
This phone number that's here, that's a bumper sticker. And I have it here in the bar for those of you who can't see it, but that's the bumper sticker that people had. If you've got a clue, tell us where and call us. And they were digging up people's yards. There was a farm they dug up. They're not going to find them. They're never going to find them. And now almost everybody that was involved in that story is dead. Okay. But to me, that was one of those things where, is it fact or fiction? You look at it, there's great info on both sides of it. I think they just hired some dudes in the mafia like they would, and they got rid of them. And
so you think that Jimmy Hoffa, his disappearance is a mafia hit?
100%.
So why would the mafia want to take him out?
Because he was going to, he had come back, like, you think about it, he got sentenced to jail and he was in federal prison. Nixon pardoned him. He comes out with the idea that he was never going to be the president of the Teamsters again. But he had real strong ideas about what this is and what this is. And the mob knew that he knew stuff that they didn't want out.
Probably didn't want. They
didn't want
out.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So they thought he was going to yap, which is what they do with everybody. I mean, if they think you're going to be a rat, well, no body, no crime, and there's no way.
Who were the big players in the mafia back
then? It was in the Detroit area, which is where it happened. It was Tony Giacalone and all these guys that were there that everybody had an alibi. Like, it was actually kind of funny because Tony Giacalone is a guy that was there that was a big mob guy in Detroit at the time. And he belonged to something called the Southfield Athletic Club. And he was there sometimes, but on that day, he made sure he was there. And there was at least 40 people that said, he came up and said hi to me that day. Like, they know what they're doing. Like, they're not, so that's just the one for me that I grew up with. And I've always kind of been really enamored with. And so I read a lot of stuff. I watch a lot of documentaries about it. I listen to podcasts about it. There's a guy named Bernstein in Detroit that does a great podcast about it. And they keep going with it. Like, it's still not solved. It's obviously it's not solved.
Right.
But it's great stuff.
It seems like the thing with Hoffa always seems to resurface because you guys know I scroll TikTok.
Yeah.
And so as I scroll TikTok, occasionally I see things about Hoffa. And even recently, within the last probably 18 months, it's
because the anniversary, because it was 50 years.
Yeah. And so there was something that came up where they dug up somebody's yard or some piece of ground somewhere, and it ended up not being anything but. So
there was the big story, and I'll just end it with this one for this part, is that the big 3 towers in Detroit, downtown Detroit on the river, it's called the Renaissance Center, which was then owned by General Motors, but at the time it was a hotel. It was this big thing. Like you went up and the elevators were on the outside of the building. It was glass. It was beautiful. It was right on the lakefront, or on the riverfront, right, facing Windsor. And Tony Giacalone, the head of the Detroit mob at the time when he was going, there's a witness, right? I don't know how good he is,
right?
But he had said that he was going to interview for a job because they were hiring at the Renaissance Center when they were building it, and that he went in there and he got him.
He just caught a fly.
I did.
Luke just caught a fly out of his beer.
He caught him, and the thing was that they always thought one of the things was that he's buried in the concrete under the Renaissance Center. So when Tony Giacalone was going to court, which the courthouse was down the road, every morning when he'd walk by, he'd go, "Hey, Jimmy," he'd wave.
Damn.
So that's, you're never going to find out. Now the Renaissance Center, I believe, is, at least they're talking about tearing it down. So people are like, "Oh, we need to tear it down and see." But
As you can tell, we were having a good time hanging out in Luke's garage. So we got a little bit carried away with our conversation. We had to split this episode up into 2 parts. So be sure to check out part 2. Peace out.